Today in Algebra 1, Chapter 3, Section 2, we're going to learn to solve two-step equations. Just like yesterday's lessons, we have four functions that can be performed. We can add, we can subtract, we can multiply, and we can divide. And we are going to continue to use the inverse operations. So let's take a look at one example. If we have the equation 5x plus 9 equals 24. Okay, we are trying to solve for x, which means we need to isolate the term that has x in it. Okay, to isolate it means to get it by itself on one side of the equal sign. So let's identify the term that has x in it. Okay, here we have 5x. We need to isolate that on here. This is the left side of the equal sign, and this is the right side. Okay, if we want to get that 5x isolated, get it by itself, how do we do that? It has a positive 9 with it. The inverse operation of addition is subtraction. So we are going to subtract 9. If we subtract 9 from the left side of the equation, we must also subtract 9 from the right side of the equation. Okay, so when we do this on the left side, you have a positive 9 minus 9. That cancels out, that's 0. Okay, so that leaves us with 5x on the left side equals 24 minus 9 is 15. Okay, now we have the term isolated that has the x in it. Now we don't want to know what 5x is, we want to know what 1x is. So we'll divide the left side by 5, so we will divide the right side by 5. So what that does is we have 5 divided by 5 on the left side. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 1x, that's what we are trying to solve for, 1x, equals 15 divided by 5 is 3. So x equals 3. Now, if we were to substitute this 3 back into the original equation for x, let's see what would happen. Would it make a true statement? 5 times 3 is 15. 15 plus that 9 is 24. So yes, it made a true statement. So our solution is correct. Let's look at another example. X over 2. That means x divided by 2 plus 5 equals 11. Again, we are going to isolate the term that has x in it. So this is our term right here that has x in it. We need to isolate it, get it by itself on the left side of the equal sign. Here's our left side, here's our right side. And remember to keep the equation equivalent. Whatever we do to one side, we must also do to the other. Okay, so how do we isolate that x divided by 2? It has a positive 5 with it, so we must subtract 5 to make that go away. So if we subtract 5 from the left side, we must subtract 5 from the right side. Okay, so what does that leave us on the left? X divided by 2. X over 2 equals 6. Okay, now we need to solve for x. X is being divided by 2, so the inverse operation of dividing by 2 would be to multiply by 2. Okay, if we multiply the left side by 2, we multiply the right side by 2. Okay, 2 and 2 reduce, and that leaves us with 1x equals 6 times 2 is 12. Okay, let's take that and plug it back in and see if that makes a true statement. If we put 12 in for x, that's 12 divided by 2 is 6, and 6 plus 5 is 11, so we've checked it, and that's good. Okay, it's all good. Our answer is correct. Here is another example. Okay, we need to combine our like terms. We can put 7x and 4x together because they are like terms. 7x minus 4x gives us 3x. 3x equals 21. Okay, x is being multiplied by 3, so the inverse operation of multiplying by 3 would be to divide by 3. If we divide the left side by 3, we divide the right side by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and we get x equals 21 divided by 3 is 7. And that is our solution. The last example that we are going to look at has a little word problem with it. It says find the input when the output is 17. Okay, I want everybody to back up a little bit and remember the input is what you put into the equation. It is the x value, okay? Input is the x value. Output is the y value. Okay, what does that mean? Let's substitute in the things that we know. It says the output is 17. If the output is 17, that means we need to substitute that in for the y value because the output is y. So let's do that. We're going to put 17 in for y equals 5x minus 3. It says to find the input. Okay, find out what the input is. The input, remember, is x, so we're looking for x. Now this becomes a problem just exactly like what we've been doing. Okay, we need to isolate the term that has the variable in it. Okay, 5x. Here's our left side of the equation. Here is the right side. This time our variable's on the right side, so we do exactly the same thing. Do the same thing to both sides. You just have your variable being solved for on the right side. We need to isolate 5x. It has a minus 3 with it, so that means we need to add 3. If we add 3 to the right, we've got to add 3 to the left. Okay, that gives us 20 equals 5x. Now we're going to divide by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. Okay, so that's going to give us x equals 20 divided by 5 is 4, and that is the solution to this equation. Okay, again, remember the input is the x, the output is the y. Okay, let's do a quick review of what we've done in this lesson. Okay, we are solving equations that it's going to take 2 steps. So our first step is going to be to isolate the x term. Okay, you isolate the x term by either adding or subtracting whatever is with that term that has your variable in it. Okay, then the second step. The second step is going to be to perform the inverse operation of what is being done with our x. If x is being multiplied by a number, then you need to divide by that number. And if it's being divided by some number, you need to multiply by that number. You need to do the inverse operation in order to solve for 1x. You need to remember that your input is your x value and your output is your y value. Okay, those are 2 very important things. I would look for them on a quiz. Y'all have a happy day.